Hi there, Nick here with another Dota 2 video. This time I'll be analyzing a replay sent to me. It is going to be a Crusader offlane Centaur, and he was asking how he could have contributed more and won this game, given they were against a Tinker and a really strong ganky team on the opposite side. So let's get into it. So first of all, before we even start analyzing gameplay or anything like that, what I like to do is visualize how the lane is going to look and what I need to do to win the lane. So, if you're Centaur and you see these 5 heroes, you will probably assume that either Undying or AA is going to be a 5. Given that Klinks is ranged and Axe is a melee hero, you would assume that Axe will be paired with the range support, Klinks will be paired with the melee support. One thing to note, if you're against an Undying, you always start with a stick. So that's one important factor. Second, Klinks does a lot of damage, but has atrocious attack speed early on. So that pretty much negates your E. Your E doesn't do too much against Klinks, at least until it's level maybe 3. Because before then he does a lot of damage with one attack, which is the opposite of what you want with your retaliate. Third point to note, so they have 4 magic damage heroes. If you don't know, Undying does primarily magic damage. Axe, if we ignore his counter helix, does magic damage. And Tinker obviously does a lot of pure and magic damage. So Klinks is the only physical damage dealer in this game. Therefore, as Centaur, what you want to be building is pipe. You want to do cap pipe as soon as possible. What you want to be building as well is obviously dagger to jump on the Tinker, but also Lotus Orb. Lotus Orb is amazing against Tinker, and you should always get it if possible. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about skill builds, starting items. So here at Backsec, the Centaur, he started with a ton of regen, Fairy Fire, Iron Branch, and Windlace. Why is this bad? So Windlace, I'm not sure why he got that. I think it's the default I'm not sure what to buy item on a lot of lower rank players. South, awful against Undying. Undying decreases your strength, therefore you have less HP and tangles become a lot more valuable. So in this lane, usually, if you're playing Centaur, the new build is a set of tangles plus a bracer. Now, I wouldn't be recommending that against these 2 heroes, because it's a very difficult lane, first of all, and stick is just so good against Undying. So you have 2 options. Either you decide you're going to be extremely aggressive level 1 or level 2, and you go for boots plus tangles and just run at them. Or you decide that there's going to be a tough lane, you want to be level maybe 3 or 4 before you try to kill them. So you want to sustain, in which case you go for tangles, you still have the Fairy Fire, you still have the branch, but you get maybe 2 sets of tangles instead of 1, and you also get that stick. So quite important to itemize correctly. Now moving on to skill build, never start with retaliate. Why? Like, I know it's a passive, it doesn't require mana, therefore great, but no. I can't think of a single hero, maybe Void in some circumstances, that you would start with a passive. Stun. Hoof Stomp is a great level 1 ability. It does 100 damage, stuns for almost 2 seconds, and more importantly, you can grief last hits with it. That's right, you just go next to the hero, Hoof Stomp, and then deny a creep or take a last hit. So even against a ranged hero, just the threat of Hoof Stomping them does a lot. Not to mention you can do first bloods with it, you can save teammates, all sorts of shenanigans. And what I would expect from your build is, if you do decide that you want to go for retaliate, obviously max retaliate. If you do decide that, as I would probably do, retaliate is not that great this game, I would just go for maxing double edge with hoof stomp and trying to kill the Klinks with my Woo and being super aggressive at the beginning of the game. So let us see. And by the way, usually if you're going for the retaliate build, you need to rush Vanguard. So whatever your initial items are, you just rush Vanguard afterwards. You get the ring, you get the booster, and that's it. You don't get any items, maybe like a set of tangos if you're really struggling before the Vanguard. So, with that very lengthy introduction out of the way, let's get into the beginning of the game and see what happens. So maybe he's at AFK at the moment, his camera is all over the place. Oh, yep, he's realized what's happening. So over here, if he had a stick, he would already have 3 stick charges, because, oh, okay, 2 maybe, because Axe used his W, Undying spamming his Q, so a ton of stick charge opportunities. Also, his Weevil is about to die. If he had a Hoof Stomp, he can go in front of these heroes. Let's check movement speed. So 347 on Axe, 290 Clinks, then you have 320. Let's say 300 if you didn't have the Wind Lace. You just go to the Clinks, you Hoof Stomp him, and then you run away. That way Weevil doesn't give first blood. That's again, that's why you don't get passives level 1, or at least you wait if you're determined to get a passive. So let's continue. You decide to fight this Undying for whatever reason. You don't fight Undying as a strength hero because he decreases your damage and gets damage instead with his decay. Now here, first huge mistake of the game. I know it's minute 16, or second 16, it's already a mistake. You're minus about 200 HP and you're going to base. Why are you going to base? A tango heals you for what? 7 health, 16 seconds, about 100 HP, a bit above 100, 115. So you just go next to your tower, which gives you additional regen. You eat the tango and you will be about full HP by the time creep waves comes. You'll be about 550 maybe. So you've just wasted a TP by going to base. You've wasted 100 gold, which is fairly awful, I have to say. So something to keep in mind. So let's just speed that, speed you going to base in shame and then TPing back. Oh, you're not even TPing, you're just walking. Yeah, that's also not great. If you're in base at the beginning, you always want to be TPing. Like, even if you're contesting Rune's middle, let's say in your carry, after you've done contesting, if you not make it in time for the first wave, you always TP because you want that initial XP. You want to get every single last hit, deny, whatever. And yeah, it's just really bad if you miss those first 2 or 3 last hits and denies. They're super crucial because whoever gets to level 2 first has a huge advantage. So again, something to keep in mind. Okay, so we are now at the beginning of the laning stage. Several of your creeps have already died, you weren't able to contest them. Klinks has a last hit because you weren't there to deny. You have significantly more damage than Klinks, better attack animation, so I guarantee he would not have gotten that last hit if you were there. And so let's see what happens once you arrive. You deny, which is great. You could have been doing that at the beginning as well. You should be going for the last hit. Okay, Weevil gets it. Fair enough. And now Klinks just harass you. Because you have retaliate, you can't do anything. You're just standing there, tanking hits. Now, what you should be doing here against the range hero is you need to use creep aggro. So you need to stand next to your range creep, right click the Klinks, and that way the creeps will go on your range creep. That will prevent Klinks from hitting you. Well, probably not Klinks because he has searing arrows, but any other range hero won't be able to hit you because then the creeps will aggro on him. So because you don't utilize creep aggro, Klinks should, and maybe he does, hit you and he'll probably take a lot of your HP. So let's see whether he does that. So yes, a bit slower than I would have done it, but see, you lose what, 200 HP, now Undying zoning you. The creep should have been here. And because you're not using aggro, again, you should be using aggro. Creep should be here. So Klinks just keeps hitting you, keeps hitting you, keeps hitting you. And by the way, if you had Hoof Stomp instead of Retaliate, and let's assume Weevil survived because you had Hoof Stomp and she had Bramble Mace. What you could have done is you could have eaten a tango and then just gone on the clinks. Hoof stomp into Brambo or Brambo into hoof stomp and he's probably dead. Because Undying has Q, he doesn't have a heal, you just completely ignore the Undying. And you either kill the clinks or you force him away from the wave and then you can get some CS. Okay, you use creep aggro here, perfect. Again, you should have been doing that earlier, but it's good to see you actually doing it. Okay, again, another mistake. Why south here? You're maybe 300 HP off? No, even less than that. This is a completely wasted south. Just eat a tango, you have a ring, regen, you're next to a tower. Like, let's just watch this. So, you're full HP, and there's a quarter of the south left. So, that's what, 80 HP, 100 HP that you've just wasted on that south. Don't use south like that. Unless you're 200 HP, you shouldn't be using a south. Maybe 250. So again, you get hit because you're not utilizing creep aggro. Also again for items, I don't mind the Ring of Protection, but if you're going for the Retaliate build, you need to be rushing Vanguard. So these two items, not great. But I can respect the fact you've realized that this is a lane that you'll be harassed a lot, so you need extra armor, you need extra regen. So it's not horrible. But again, I would have preferred you just save up again. Creep aggro, great, you're using creep aggro. Okay, go on the clinks, Okay, now here you're gonna kill the clinks, obviously, but if you had double edge, you could have killed him earlier without him having a chance to react. If he was a better player, he could have just walked away. Also, did you also notice how easily you just killed him? You could have done that level 1, or at least gotten him really low. Because Brambo plus Hoof Stomp, it's really broken. Nothing he can do. And because he's a Crusader player, he will be out of position, so it will be quite easy to catch him with your will.
I do not fear the flames. Sorry.
Okay, so now if I was you, I would just be shouting at my will to pull. And because you're not, you're losing a lot. Okay, great stun. Now you should be standing here and contesting those CS. You should be denying constantly that like you're wasting time, you're not doing anything here. More importantly, look at the clinks. So the clinks at the moment has 190 HP. Now imagine that you're level 3, instead of having this useless retaliate, level 2, imagine you had 180 damage plus strength, 60% strength, which is cost 37, it's like 4 times 6, 24. So basically 204 roughly damage nuke against a Clinks with 190 HP. He's dead. Literally one hit plus your W and he would be dead. So again, you need to recognize what's the matchup. And I know Retaliate is the best build on Centaur, but play against your opponent, against the matchup, don't just play the meta. So like, Andai comes and kills him, but you could have killed him way before that. Now you take a ton of damage. I'm not sure what Will was doing here. She's not stacking. What? Oh, she's getting the run. Jesus.
God, I love money.
Okay, never mind. Let's focus on your gameplay, not on other people's gameplay. I really like this. It's a good attempt. Doesn't do anything, but great attempt. And again, you can't be standing here when both of them are contesting you. You need to be using creep aggro. So what do you do in this situation? You stand here, you creep aggro, and then a second later you creep aggro again and you take the creeps on the tower. Because his wave is already pushing. It's not the best play in the world, but at least it gets you uncontested CS. And yes, your wave will push afterwards probably, but at least you can rush your Ring of Hell doing that. So that's one of your options. And again, if you didn't have these two items, you already would have the Ring of Health. Okay, I'm not gonna comment on your last hitting because I mean, you're a Crusader, obviously you need to improve your last hitting. But maybe go into last hit trainer or something like that. I mean, it's not awful, but yeah, could be better. 6.5 out of 10. Okay, nothing too interesting happening here, so let us move ahead. Okay, you have your ring. It's great. Again, remember to utilize the aggro. You could totally kill the Sklings. Like, if Will uses Bramble, he's dead. You shouldn't be scared. Okay, you're manning up, but it's too late and you're out of position. You should be manning up and you should be fighting them if they're over here in this area, away from their creeps, away from their tower, chasing your Will. If you're over here, that's awful because you're behind their creep wave. They're 2v1ing you and you're next to their tower, really far away from your ally. Okay, you try to use the creep now, just do it again. No, you cannot go next to the creep wave when Undyke's on left and Klinks is just hitting you. You just need to realize that it's not worth it. I can't do anything here, and yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. Because you didn't get a single CS and you lost 200, 300 HP, something of that nature.
Just what I was waiting for.
Okay, are you going to pull here? You should be pulling. And Will should be, by the way, when you're in a losing lane, especially against a really strong range carry, the position 4 should be creep cutting. Will should, minute 1, Will should be dragging the wave if you're in a losing matchup. Or, as I suggested, Bramble Mace plus Hoof Stomp, and you just kill the Klings. Those are your two options. Oh, you are going to pull. That's great. That's really good. Will should be doing that, but kudos to you for doing it. Now, you shouldn't be standing next to those creeps though. Klinks looks to be alone, you could kill him with Will. You shouldn't be farming. Let's actually see what's happening here. So Klinks has no mana, no life and 200 HP and you're just AFK. If you go behind them, you will kill the Klinks. Yeah, he has more movement speed than you, because he has a boot, you don't have a boot. Because again, you have these two items instead of a boot. You have a south, not sure why, you have a ton of regen. But I guess it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world, but again, if you were paying attention to what Will was doing, she would be alive, Klinks would be dead, and then you can kill the entire 2v1. So don't just AFK hit creeps, just notice what's happening around you. And honestly, level 5, ooh, why do you have level 2 Hoof Stomp? If you're going for Retaliate, build should be 1-1-3. If you're not getting Retaliate, you should just not get it at all, and max your Double Edge and your Hoof Stomp. The Double Edge is the priority, obviously. This is just, it's extremely inefficient. So never do this. Never. Now that you're able to actually take the creeps, Will should be ganking mid. When playing against the Tinker, you always want to be killing him at the beginning of the game. So if I was you, I was just going to be telling my Will, please kill Tinker, please kill Tinker. And once you're level 6, what you need to do is get a smoke. And then smoke mid, use your ultimate, kill Tinker. And then after, 100 seconds, just do it again. And do it again. And that's how you win against the Tinker, because this guy will be constantly out of position. Okay, you're pinging the Klinks, I like this. You can actually kill him quite easily. Will was full mana, she has all her spells. You should just go and kill him. Like, look, he has 280 HP. You can literally run at him and kill him. Why are you scared? Okay, good. Okay, okay. You shouldn't be scared. You can just turn back. You have 200 HP. There's nothing they can do. Just kill the zombies, use yourself and heal up. Oh gosh. Okay, so this is a horrible, horrible TP. Because you have 170 HP. Fair, but you have 12 HP per second regen. And a south for another 400. So that's, what, 500 HP in the next 10 seconds? So that will put you at around 700 HP before they come to lane. After 15 seconds, you'll be 750 HP. So 70% of your HP will be regenerated in 15 seconds. You could be getting XP, you could be getting creeps. This is a total waste of time, because then you have to walk to the lane. You're also level 6. Remember what I said about level 6? This is the only unacceptable play if you buy a smoke immediately and then go and kill Tinker and get a ward. Because look at this Tinker. He has nothing. He has a boot, brown boot. He has 355 HP, that's a lot, but if you have ultimate with double edge and hoof stomp and a sniper ult, he's dead. And that's why double edge build is a lot better here, because your mid game, in order to win this game, their win condition is Tinker, your win condition is Void. So what you want to do is you want to enable your Void and you want to stomp that Tinker. That's why you max double edge and you max hoof stomp, and the moment you hit level 6 you just run at him again and again and again and again. And that way your sniper can push tower middle, he can get some last hits. But again, sniper's not important, he's not the win condition. The win condition is stomping Tinker. Look, 500 HP. Sniper has ultimate. If you were there with an ultimate hoof stomp, he's dead. You don't even need double edge. And look, he's just not doing anything, this Tinker. If you have a ward over here to check out his movements, or a deep ward over here, he's easily killed. Okay, you're fighting. So, by the way, this does how much damage? Some damage. So maybe you could have gone on Undying for a bit of aggro, but yeah, I know why you went back. Then let's check your items. So it's minute 9. Instead of finishing Vanguard, you got a random Blades of Attack. You decided not to go for Tranquils and go for the other types of boots, phase boots. But this is just a mix of items. You have items for a hood, you have this random Windlace in your backpack, you have this random Ring of Regen. You've decided not to get Vanguard instead of get a phase boot. Why? Like, the reason people are playing Vanguard, are playing Centaur, is Vanguard. That's it. If you don't get another Vanguard, there's no point playing this hero. Absolutely no point. So just something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. Okay, so let us move on. And again, you had ultimate again. You should just go and kill the Tinker. Or at least after 60 seconds. That's what you need to do to win this game. Okay, so maybe let's jump to a team fight. I think I've analyzed the laning stage enough. Key takeaways from here: use creep aggro, think about your build and what you want to be achieving on the lane, i.e. getting stick versus undying, maxing W to kill the clinks and then going to gank Tinker because that's their win condition. Itemization, just rush Vanguard or get boots at the beginning to be active on the map. Then mid game, as I said, you need to have pipe this game. I maybe wouldn't even get Vanguard necessarily. I might just rush a pipe, depends on how much I wanna contest clinks on the lane. But that's a personal choice. And just notice what your support is doing and be more aggressive with Centaur, especially against a squish hero like Lynx in the early game. So with that out of the way, let us go to some team fights and see how you do in those. And we're back. So what's going to happen now is you see an Undying that's really out of position, and your WoW is gonna engage and go on him. And I think you subsequently manage to kill the Klings by using your ultimate. So let's just see what happens. So you go on the Undying, he's dead, you miss your Healthstone, but that's okay. Now, what I would have done now is, it's good you're just killing the Tombstone, and then immediately ultimate, maybe use your face, go on the Klings, great, and just kill him. So that's really clean, that's what you want to be doing. I would maybe even, if I see the Klings out of position here, and I have a Hoof Stomp, I'll maybe even just use my Stampede and directly go for the Klings, if he's close enough. But otherwise, a very clean team fight, and that's how you want to be executing team fights. So, well done to you. Now, I'll skip a minute and let's see how you try to gank the Klings. Now, we're back. So you're met with an Invis Rune. You went for Tinker, which is great. That's what you should have been doing, well, this whole game, really. But you don't have ultimate, so you've decided not to go for him. I personally will probably just wait 20 seconds and then kill him with Stampede, because yeah, he has travels, but he doesn't have daggers, so he will likely stay on lane. Because bottom's more or less pushed. Top, he can't really do much top because he's scared of Void, so I'll probably just stay middle and kill him. You have your Vanguard, which is great, but you notice that there's a random Klings here, it's out of position, so you ping him, which is great. You want to go for the Klings here. However, you're against the Klings, and you don't have dust. You have room for a dust, you have money for a dust, but neither you nor your support has dust. Okay, you stun him, use your spell, but then he just runs away because you don't have detection. So it's just something I want to showcase. If you know you're playing against the Klings, I mean you've been laning against him, you even ping a kill, you need to have detection because you don't have the burst to kill him. If you had max double edge, you might have had the burst, probably still not, but you might have if you had max Q, max double edge. But yeah, it was carry detection. And now what you should be doing, you have Stampede on, is just go middle. And the moment Tinker comes back middle, you kill him. So that's what you should be doing now. What I said earlier, your ultimate, you should use it purely to go on Tinker. Nothing else matters. Literally nothing else matters. So, yeah, that's it. That's the main takeaway. So let's move to more team fights. Now we're back. You're doing a smoke gank with your whole team apart from Void. Oh no, Void's in smoke as well. And let's see who you find. And I'm gonna put player perspective so that we can see your vision. Let's see, Folk Dire. Let's do that. So you see the Undying. Let's talk about target priority. As I mentioned, Tinker is your main target. Apart from that, Klings. After that, AA. Undying's position 5, a very tanky position 5. He has a chainmail, he has a buckler, he has ways to heal himself. Axe, even worse than Undying. So when you're smoking, especially as a 5-man smoke, you're wasting a lot of resources and a lot of farming time in order to get an advantage. Therefore, you want to get a high priority easy kill so they can't react, and Undying's not that kill. So you should absolutely not... Okay, and you're wasting your ultimate as well. So see, because Undying's such a tanky hero, they can react, they can use their... oh gosh. They can use their spells. So you wasted Trent ult and your ult to get to kill position 5. Is that worth it? Is it worth to use Stampede and Overgrowth to kill an Undying? Not really. They've also reacted. Now you have no escape because you have no ultimate, you have no mana, you can only cast Hoof Stomp. There's no tree abilities as well. Snipers, you know, awful at running away. So what's going to happen here is, if they play this correctly, they're just gonna TP and gonna kill you. Okay, Klings has killed one hero. Let's see whether it's only one hero that dies. Oh yes, I think it's only one hero that dies. Surprising, very, very surprising. But, oh no, actually. Ooh. Yep, so let's see what's happening here. Okay, you disengage. Tinker's chasing you. Maybe he'll kill the tree? Yeah, he kills the tree. Okay, so you lost 2 people for 1. You used all your big ultimates, including Chronosphere. I didn't see when that happened, but regardless. They don't have any cooldowns. Literally, they can go again, so you have 60 seconds where you can't fight because you've used your spells. You killed nothing, you killed the position 5. So again, target priority. Tinker, then Clinks, then AA. Never Axe, never Undying. The fact that you can jump on him doesn't mean you should. And I know a lot of people don't realize that, but if he's sitting underneath tier 1, he's a very tanky hero. They'll just TP. And before you can kill him, they'll turn the fight, because they're stronger than you. Because of the Tinker. Unless Void can do a good Chronosphere, but you shouldn't be relying on others to perfectly execute to win a team fight. You should be stacking those in your favor. So let's do maybe 1 or 2 more fights and then we'll wrap it up. I think your main win condition was just winning the laning phase hard and then just ganking the Tinker. After that, especially with this team fight, Tinker now has Dagger and it's gonna be so much more difficult because even if Void Chronos the Tinker, if Clinks is outside, if Undying is outside to heal him, then Tinker's likely going to survive. Or Clinks is gonna kill Void and then kill your sniper. So not great though. Now this is another team fight. They're sieging bottom and it's only you and your supports at the moment. So Axe is going to siege because he's the tank, that's his job. And I believe what you do is you jump to the Axe instead of waiting until you can see the cores and then just stampeding with dagger on the cores and killing them. Especially because they're very squishy. So again, I'm gonna showcase how not to target priority, and how you lose games. So look, Clinks is over here, and you jump on the Axe. Like, why? Axe does 100 damage. He doesn't do any damage. Why are you jumping him? What is he gonna do? Whereas this guy has his strafe on. He has level 4 searing arrows. He has an Orchid. He's doing a lot of damage. So just stampede, go on him, stun, double edge, and yeah, target priority. And again, you pop in the stampede, but you go in front of the Clinks. You don't actually go past him. If you phase through a target with stampede, it slows them and does damage. So use your stampede effectively. And now, again, you've gone next to the Clinks with 1.3k HP, and you return for Dax, who, even though he's half HP, he's still 900 HP, 21 armor. So actually, even though he's half HP, Clinks is the squishier target for you to go on. And again, they just kite you out. We will just waste her ultimate for whatever reason. And that's the fight. That's the fight. If you had gone on Clinks, you could have maybe killed him. Maybe. Either way, he was your target. Yeah. Okay, let's move to another team fight. Now over here it's again yet another example of bad prioritization. You go on the tank heroes again, they're sieging. You wanna just kill the Stinger. You ping the Tinger ward over here, which is great, but what you could do is... Oh, I can't see the wards, but just get an observer and just ward it yourself, potentially. If your supports are not playing with you. But you see the axe, don't jump on this axe. As we discussed multiple times in this video. So, okay, you're in good position, you're standing next to your core, you're ready to engage. Trance here. Ignore the axe, you should just be ignoring the axe. Now look, because you went on the axe, Clinks is gonna kill your Void. Well, did kill your Void. Imagine if you're here, and when Clinks jumps on the Void, you just blink, stun Clinks instead, then Void uses Chronosphere to kill Clinks. You've won the fight. And you're thinking, probably before you watched this analysis, you were thinking, oh, my Void kept dying to Clinks, that's why we lost. No. You lost the team fight because you jumped on an axe, who was out of position, okay, but he's an axe. Instead of just waiting and saving your Void and getting a kill on the Clinks. So again, showcasing, please watch out target priority. As a tree, you always want to be jumping on the course. If you see another position tree, or you see a tanky support, just ignore them. Literally, you could be walking next to them but not hitting them, because they don't do much. It's as if someone hitting you. You don't do any damage. There's no point in focusing you. And also, again, for final thoughts, let's look at your items. You're building a Crimson, as we discussed at the beginning, 4 magic or pure damage heroes, 1 physical damage hero, who also has a Nor hit, which is magic damage. Just get a pipe and get a Lotus. This Crimson is a waste of gold. You're gonna waste 2,000 gold on it. Instead, you could have had a pipe, and you could have had the beginnings of a Lotus Orb. Or if you're so scared about the clinks, just get a halberd. That's it. Overall, even though I may seem very negative, actually you played okay for a Crusader. It wasn't worse than what I was expecting. You had some really nice moments like pulling, you utilized a bit of creep aggro, you pinged the Tinker Ward, which I think is very advanced understanding of the game. You also pinged that cling skill over here, and once you get the invis, you wanted to gank and be active. So a lot of positives, just target priority, target priority, target priority, and then itemization. And you surely start winning so many more of these games. So that's all from me. If you like this video, consider liking and subscribing. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Bye bye.